Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Hit like, share, subscribe. Welcome to the show. I'm Joey up here in Wells, BC, 3,953 feet above sea level. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. I mean that from the bottom of my deadly heart. Okay, there's so much to talk about today, man. I don't know if I can get through it all, but the point of this video is that we're ramping back up into some severe threshold for thunderstorms again as we come in to start the week. Sunday, yes, going to be some thunderstorms. Monday, probably even stronger. Working on up to it before that departs. And we get back to some stable weather for a little bit. Yeah, so the big low came up from Montana. It brought crazy rain into Alberta. That's now moving through the prairies. There's rainfall warnings all over. They've been getting crazy rain there. And, of course, the backside of that low, it drew cold from the upper atmosphere. It drew cold from the north. That came down. It landed as snow in Elkford. That's completely normal in the mountains. That happens. In fact, I predicted it right here if you were watching the channel, right? Then we had all this severe thunderstorm activity in BC. Of course, we had crazy tornado and derechos in the Dakotas yesterday, right? And that's all related to a heat dome that's building in the eastern half of the continent. We're going to see record temperatures getting smashed there. That's why there's extreme thunderstorm activity in Ontario tonight going on and probably for the next bunch of days. In fact, right now, Highway 17 north of Ottawa there, between Mattawa and Banfield. I have to look it up. It's shut down right now anyways. No traveling on Highway 17. The severe weather is actually done something there to the road. I don't know what. I just know that the highway is shut down according to the OPP. So things are going off all over the place. It's actually a really crazy time for forecasting. It has been for the last bunch of days. Like, I don't know, the last couple of weeks, actually. It's been no shortage of things to talk about. Let's get on with the show. Let's go.
There it is. This is bad news. My God. I'll watch the video later. They dry mopping this.
Well, let's start with BC on Sunday where we had that thunderstorm risk going right up to Alaska again. Alaska just exploding with heat, exploding with thunderstorms right now. Severe thunderstorms in Dawson, not in Dawson, in the Yukon today, closer to the Haines Junction area, I believe was one of them. A couple days ago, we had another one somewhere near Whitehorse. Didn't affect the town. That's long over, so anyways, it doesn't really matter. The point is there was severe thunderstorms multiple days up in the Yukon. That's completely unheard of. And now we have a severe thunderstorm threat on Sunday there in southern British Columbia. Hail is going to be part of the mix there, especially in Area A and especially up north, Area B, Area C. Yeah, probably too. I think the stronger thunderstorms through the Caribou, Prince George are probably going to be on that West Fraser side tomorrow, and we'll see a weaker, and there's not an area. There's no statement of any kind for our area for this side of the Fraser, and then on up through this side of the Heart and eastern section here, this little sliver. We're probably going to see some thunderstorms. I don't think they'll be strong. However, I think that's where the strongest ones are going to be on Monday, right? So we get our turn on Monday as things work themselves out. So looking at severe thunderstorms across the board with, good rain. So looking at that severe thunderstorm threshold, they seem to think it's down here in the Kelowna area tomorrow. I'm going to give you some more suggestions for where we might see severe thunderstorm watches as we get into the next bunch of days. Well, let's have a look over. And you see as that heat is building in Ontario, they're going to have their hottest day, maybe seeing places that hit the 40s in Ontario. And you know what Ontario is like on a hot day, man. So we're going to have severe thunderstorms breaking out again tomorrow in ahead of that. So if you're in Ontario and you're anywhere east of, I don't usually forecast past this corner of Lake Superior, past Thunder Bay much. But heads up, heat dome coming out east and severe thunderstorm threat will continue. Finally, a little bit quieter on the prairies as this bad weather does work itself out, though the thunderstorm threat does affect the north, and there is some hail threat up there. But really, the only severe area we're looking at is that southeast corner of Manitoba on Sunday, where I'll show you why. I mean, some crazy stuff is going to be going on and has been just south of the border over the last few days. I mean, take this with a grain of salt because it's Saturday evening. It's after 8 o'clock, and some of these are going to change tonight. For example, the severe thunderstorm watches, they will be dropped fairly soon, but we do have that still up in the Yukon, where as well, there's a number of special weather statements, one's for air quality because of smoke up there, but there's the heat is in the 20s up there, and it's expected still to go on until early next week. The trend will begin to cool there. The exception will be Old Crow, where temperatures may persist a little warmer into the midweek. Smoke statements. Smoke is people reporting lots of smoke in the northern BC hours. I suggest to you that the thunderstorm activity tomorrow is going to change that fairly quickly. However, for at least the time period, this sector of BC is getting smoke that's coming down from the north because we're still getting on the backside of that low. We're still getting weather sort of influence out of the north right now. Edmonton area, frost advisory up there, right? We had snowfall in the Rocky Mountains. Well, we do have rainfall warning here on the Alberta side, and we have special weather statement 40 mils expected there. The Alberta side looking at heavy rain still continues. This will be by Sunday morning, though. We're going to start to see that work its way out in the rainfall warning. I mean, Hank said it was raining all day where he was in Saskatchewan. They're going to see that gradually easing through the night for you. And then our real next story is going to be the special weather statement for significant possible rain in this sector of Manitoba on Sunday, but also not just from flash floods and whatnot, but we'll see. The low pressure trend, it's tracking towards Lake of the Woods region on Ontario side on Sunday, result in showers, thunderstorms across the region beginning midday, fueled by a very humid air mass to the south. These thunderstorms will be capable of producing torrential downpours and localized flooding. And yes, it's been crazy on the Alberta side. Rain developed over portions of southern Alberta Friday, June 20th. 100 millimeters have been reported in many places, highest amounts along the foothills, locally near Capin. Snow was reported in Kananaskis Village near Bragg Creek on the 21st. That's this morning. A report from X on Highwood Pass indicated 30 centimeters of snow up there. Capin, 131 mils, Azure, 120, Pakisco, 116, Stavely, 104 there. The Nanton area, Bow Valley, 98, Claresholm, 76 near Nanton as well. Calgary International Airport took 70, Olympic Park took 69, Sundre, and then on down the list until you get to Brandon Houck at Brooks that only got 32.3 mils. And if you looked at his videos on the Facebook where it's just pounding rain and pounding wind, I mean, it's hard to believe that he only got 32 mils looking at the weather he's been underneath there. As well, some third-party websites reported 109.7 in Bragg Creek and whatnot. As well, strong winds. Milk River hit 87, Stavely 80, Claresholm 80. Strongest winds there reported there. Anyways, British Columbia, rainfall totals there, not bad. Agassiz 31, Hague Camp 27, Pitt Meadows 25 to 32, Vancouver International Airport 24 to 31, Coquitlam 24, Langley 22, Hope 20, Chilliwack. Good rain for Lillooet 37 mils, Salmon Arm 32, Splintlam 27, Red Bluffs 27, Fintry 26, August Lake 25, Princeton 21, and then even Ashcroft taking some rain. 18 mils in Ashcroft at this time of year is that's nice. Kamloops 15 mils, can be a little bit wetter than Kamloops at this time of year. Then Ashcroft's very dry, very low, and it's really tucked into that valley there. It struggles to take rain at the best of times. Kootenay region, meanwhile, Sparwood 45, Toby 45, Johnson Lake 44, Goatfell 42, Morrissey 41, Canal Flats 41, Coffee Creek 38, Gold Hill 37, Cranbrook up to 37, Duncan Lake Dam 33, and on down the list. Columbia region, even Vermilion Pit took 30, Yoho 27, Barrier took 25, even Malacca. Good, plentiful rain for many parts of British Columbia that really required more rain. Temperature records being set out east. We don't really cover the east, but 33 in Ingonish there, just to give you a taste. Nova Scotia is not the hottest place in Canada. It's much like coastal BC, moderating influence of the ocean. Get on with the friggin' story, Joey. Okay, thunderstorm threats. Let's go. Okay, as we're looking at Sunday morning, this is convective available potential energy. How much energy is there for convection? How explodable is the rapid rising of the clouds that creates thunderstorms? This is just wild. Continuing again, high Cape values up. We're seeing severe thunderstorms up by the Arctic Ocean at times. There's been severe thunderstorms in the Yukon. Take that into northern BC. Oh, by the way, look at the Cape value in southern Manitoba. 3,000 joules per kilogram. So they're going to see exploding weather. Because they're on the north end of these thunderstorms. So will there be tornadoes? Probably not. That's probably going to be occurring down this line more, and has been as it's moved on through. We had derechos to the Dakotas last night. So just this is a crazy value here. Look at some of these values up to close to 5,000 in some places. I saw 4,500 or something earlier. The 48, there you go. Crazy Cape values, crazy explosive. I mean, you can get tornadoes out of 1,000 joules per kilogram. This is nuts, and it goes all the way over to Ontario. And you see where that severe threat lines up with that. Crazy weather, crazy stuff. And that's because the heat dome is forming over there, right? So you see this big system has been pulling air down from the north, and this is where this low our snow came from, right? Is it's not just pulling air from the north down, but it's pulling from the upper atmosphere too, So we had on Friday when we had those thunderstorms firing off in the Caribou, we were seeing cloud tops up around the 20,000 foot. Like the clouds weren't that tall here. They couldn't have been over 20,000 feet, I figured, just looking at them from the ground, because over the years I've looked at relation to clouds and I've done the math on it. I know what a really tall cloud should be roughly about in height here, and what a medium-sized, these are medium-sized cumulonimbus clouds. They weren't explodingly tall, but they didn't need to be, because if you got to 20,000 feet, it was minus 35 Celsius up there. It was very, very cold on top the cloud tops. And you see, the clouds didn't, so that meant that the heat that rose it ran into explosive energy very quickly. It was able to propel itself quite handily upwards, and we saw very strong thunderstorms in the Caribou. What's happening now is we're going to see a change in direction. So we had storms coming out of the east originally, because we were on this side of the low, and that's why on Friday our storms were coming this direction. Well, as the low departs, it's pulling from the north there, of course, but now we're well out of it. We're going to see a resumption of our flow, of our westerly flow, and that, of course, is a little bit of warmth comes into southern BC, is going to be, we have this highly unstable air that's been coming from this Gulf of Alaska pattern I've been talking about all spring, where we've had this kind of low pressure here develop frequently. That's kept temperatures down. It's kept the warm ocean water away. It's kept us in, more moderate than almost everywhere else in the continent. We've had a really lucky spring that way, BC. Having a little bit of snow in the mountains, that's great news. Having all that rain, that's great news. We really needed that. Still, these Cape values up in Alaska, this is nuts. So where are we going on Sunday in British Columbia? So we're going to play out the Cape values here for day first and talk about it. So they think Environment Canada that southern British Columbia is one of the stronger areas for potential for thresholds. I think some of this area on the back side, all through here, West Caribou, Chilcotin, look where this convergence is right here. Look at that. Look at what they're saying there. What do you think that's going to do for storm formation? The answer is more obvious than you think. So we're looking at Cape value there, expanding outward a little bit. Look at that Smithers area, Bulkley Valley area. You can see some thunderstorms popping through the night out there. So there's going to continue. There's going to be a lot of lightning up there, and you've not taken the good rain that everyone else has been taking necessarily. So we got a little bit of fire concerns. Although, really, I still think we're in a great position in British Columbia coming into the summer season compared to last year in terms of last year's. Although we're still much drier, we need a lot more water to make up the difference for what we didn't get over the winters. There's no doubt. And the Northeast is in big trouble in terms of drought. Okay, look at this. Monday, where's this convective available potential energy now located? It's starting to locate itself in the Caribou more and more. Boom, there it goes. Late in the afternoon, the Caribou, Prince George region. We're going to be seeing something pretty interesting going on here. There you go. I don't know why I don't have Prince George on the map here. There you go. I've just refreshed the map to make sure we get it. So look at this. Strong Cape values. Again, 900. For BC, that's pretty good. Anytime you have any elevated Cape value in BC, our topography can make storms angry. Don't worry about that. Our relationship to the ocean, having more moisture sometimes available, means we don't necessarily need the high Cape values to have an explosive thunderstorm that you might need to have if you're in Saskatchewan, right? So we sometimes see funnel clouds and tornadoes and things and major hail and major thunderstorms from weather that if it were somewhere else in Canada might seem a lot more innocent. So this looking at where's our chance for severe thunderstorms. Look where that Cape value is. Remember that. Vanderhoof, Pinchy, Fort St. James, Hickson, Quesnel, West Caribou, up to Bear Lake, near Mackenzie, into the North Mountains there, and of course a little bit as you go further up. But you can see how there's been a change coming into Monday. We're coming into greater instability as this new trend tries to take hold. And so we got a bit of transition time is what we're going through right now. And look at the Cape values up into Alaska. It's nuts. It's completely nuts. 21 degrees there at 1900 hours, 7 p.m. at night. Nuts. Totally nuts. It's been totally warm up there, totally crazy. And for every time someone's like, where's your climate change, Joey? All I got to do is point out the fact that we got a heat dome coming on here. We have record temperatures in places in the north. We got Alaska although Alaska can get hot, it's been consistently hot. It's producing massive thunderstorms. Things are pretty rocking in terms of temps in North America, man. Don't worry about that. Look where this Cape value is. It's where the heat dome is going to be. We're going to see explosive thunderstorms in that heat dome. We're going to see everything happen, man. Everything's going to happen everywhere. So we're going to still try to keep focused on BC, and we'll look here in a minute at some of those other stories briefly before we go. But that Cape value, that's telling you where we're probably going to see lightning into the nighttime storms there, that whole quadrant. I like this quadrant especially. the Cape values seem to persist there. So where's our strong thunderstorms going to be? Well, let's rewind now and look back through all this. We'll go back to Sunday. We'll hit the thunderstorm icon. That's what we're seeing already Sunday early. Major thunderstorms coming through southern and Manitoba. Probably going to see severe through a number of places. Boom, here we go Sunday afternoon. Up and down all the way into Alaska. Once again, big time thunderstorms. That's going to mirror where that Cape value is. And then we're going to see at the very bottom end of the line is probably where the most severe threshold seems to be in terms of where Cape values are. It's at the sort of bottom end of this sort of new low pressure area trying to form itself into Alberta. Yet again, another one's going to try to form right in the wake of this nasty monster that's making all severe weather. May have killed 2 people yesterday in the Dakotas. The tornado did. Chaos has been going everywhere. I wish I could cover everything. I probably could if I had more time, but I'll have to live a life a little bit too here too. So I try to focus on Western Canada. Here's where our thunderstorms, though, all Sunday afternoon. You can see it's basically in that quadrant of southern British Columbia, Kelowna, Kamloops. You're in the go zone. You're in the go zone. Maybe Vail Mount, Blue River. Maybe more scattered in outside that zone. That doesn't necessarily mean they won't be strong, but so far our best intel is Sunday, probably the strongest down here. Although this signal looks really good. I think Burns Lake's probably going to see some epic thunderstorm activity through the day and maybe a little bit into the evening. These going to pop a little while into the night. Going to be sporadic lightning through the night. So nice, nighttime thunderstorm shooting. Hopefully, if you're a camera person and love the thunderstorms. But anyways, Monday's our big day. Monday's our big day for thunderstorms in BC, and we're gonna watch how this unfolds now. I'm gonna start to see that thunderstorms popping up in Alberta early, then up through Prince George area. Okay, wait, we gotta have to focus in a little bit here. There's that new low we just talked about forming on the Alberta side, so it's gonna make its own kind of nasty weather, own severe weather. Look at this convergence there around Lloydminster. Everything seems to be swirling around in there. Not good. Kind of concerning if you're Alberta and have already gone through a number of severe stories. Monday at 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, southern BC, but you're not the focus of the story. The focus of the story is going to be up here. It's probably going to be this section where the strongest thunderstorms are, probably, but I wouldn't count any of these little ones out in the middle out, right? And there's good reason for that, and I'll show you in a minute. Some of those ones down the line might be alone. They might get spinning. They might have the ability to become supercellular thunderstorms. So I think there's still a greater risk down here than we looked at so far in terms of severity. So I'm going to say, somewhere starting around the 100-mile district and working its way on up to Takla is probably where we're going to be seeing a line of severe thunderstorm watches put out on Monday, where we're probably most likely to see, at least that's the best understanding I have so far as to what we're looking at. And look how she goes on. Yeah, going to be good. I don't think it's doing it justice here. I think it's going to be a little better than we might expect, and we'll watch it disappear in the night here for a minute, all the way up still again into Alaska, again up north of Fairbanks, up towards the Arctic Ocean. Yep, near the Arctic Ocean, lightning up there. And by evening on Monday, we're seeing our storms start to peter out. Let's back up one more time here. Go rain and thunder just to give us a look. See the madness going on over Sunday evening. See the madness on Sunday afternoon, heading up through there, that severe storms we were talking about. See the heat dome building out east. We'll look back at that on Monday here, looking where severe thunderstorms are. Looks like some good rain signals. These don't look bad. I mean, this model, I don't know. ECMWF doesn't seem as lit on these thunderstorms. Look at this all, though. Look at all this. Northern BC. I'm concerned about northern BC. I'm concerned. A little bit too much lightning up there. A little bit too much. And they just haven't really taken the rain that everyone took this weekend so much. I mean, we didn't really in the Caribou either, besides one good thunderstorm line on Friday. Right, so we're on a Sunday at 4 in the afternoon. Thunderstorms firing up there. Firing up right into eastern BC. But I mean, anywhere in the interior, I'm just going to say this. Anywhere in the interior on Sunday, you could see a thunderstorm. Where is the strongest going to be? We still seem to think it's down here on Sunday, Kelowna area or whatever, somewhere down that area is where we're going to start seeing some probably severe watches put up again tomorrow. Maybe some of the same places we had them today. Not much produced today. A little bit of lightning in 100 Mile last I looked. That general vicinity, I should say. Sunday, still continuing on. But hey, look at this. Still seeing some good rain signals, right? So there might be a lot of lightning, but there's still some good rain signals. I mean, this is good. Lightning's going to happen. I'd like to remind you that 2019, we had it was one of our higher lightning years in recent memory, but it was also one of our fewest hectares burnt of fire. So lightning, I mean, yeah, it can spark fire, sure, but really what it needs to have is dry conditions out there. And if we're getting lots of precip-heavy thunderstorms and, consistent precip-heavy thunderstorms, not like 2 weeks of hot and dry and then thunderstorm madness, no, if we just keep taking weather like this for a while, that's good news. That's good news. So into the night on Sunday, going to see some flashing up and down, man. But I still think that the West Caribou side, I still think this is where the better thunderstorms through our region are going to be, right? So again, out towards Burns Lake, maybe Vanderhoof, whatever, be watching for tall clouds in your area on Sunday and paying attention to what they do. But yeah, look at that. Rain petered out nicely in British Columbia south. And by the morning time, we're going to skip ahead 8 a.m., a little bit of showers there, and that's going to prime things up, leave a little bit of moisture there as some of those showers fizzle out. And then some of those same areas of rainfall are going to be where the biggest storms pop up, right? So that primes the air a little bit. I really think we'll see severe in the Prince George area somewhere. I really think we'll see severe up by Williston Lake, maybe over by Takla, like I was saying, maybe this sector. I think the mid-Caribou could see some stronger storms. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Going to be lightning pretty much anywhere in the interior. You're at risk of a thunderstorm, I think, the next 2 days, right? Now, what about out east? Yeah, well, that low keeps moving on out and dumping healthy rain, a little bit of lightning through the prairies. It doesn't look that crazy. It's kind of a weak low. It's just sort of a tailing off that last one. And you know what? By the time we hit Tuesday, we're still looking at thunderstorms. And so, we'll have to revisit that again. I've only got myself prepared till Monday, but we're going to be watching the thunderstorm systems start to work their way out more and more. And next week, we're going to come into maybe some down weather in terms of fire behavior, in terms of temperature, in terms of, we're going to take some rain at times and whatnot. But our thunderstorms are starting to move out more and more, I think, during the week. But, I think that's subject to change, man, with the way things have been lately. If it's showing a little bit of lightning in there, you never know. A hull could break loose. So that's why I'm only looking at the next 2 days. I think by the time Monday and Tuesday start to play themselves out, in reality, we'll know what's going on. Heat dome, Joey, what were you saying about that? Yeah, okay, well, let's just remind you, heat dome talk we're having. We'll hit the temperature knob here and look at the temperatures that are setting up. These are conservative estimates, in my opinion. So keep that in mind. Washington, D.C. at 38, 39s. It depends what hour we click on here of the day, what we're going to see. 39 there. So it's 1400 hour time, but that's already like later in the day for them. 39 degrees in Washington, D.C., though. That's right on the ocean. We could see temperatures actually hit the 40s in Ontario on Tuesday. That's entirely possible. Entirely possible. Going to be a large sector of Ontario that takes some big time heat. I should say on Monday, there's that risk. So again, I think this is a little bit conservative, but heat dome. Why is it a heat dome, Joey? Because if you go up into the atmosphere a significant height, you're going to find that the air is still warm, right? The air is still warm. So it's like a cap of hot air sitting on top of you. Unlike here in BC on Friday when we had the thunderstorms, we had a cap of cold air. It's that simple. It was like you go up 20,000 feet and it was minus 35. Well, what if we go up to 20,000 feet now? Well, here you go at 3,000 meters, right? That's almost 10,000 feet. 12C. Okay, that's pretty warm. Let's keep going up. So if you go up to 4,200 meters, think about how high 4,200 meters is, and it's still 2 degrees under that dome of warm air. Well, look what we have when we get up to that elevation here in BC, significantly colder above us, significantly colder. So that's why it's a heat dome. There's a cap of heat on top of the heat. Hey, these are the ones I don't always show you because I try not to overcomplicate things for everybody, but this is helicity. What's helicity values, Joey? Well, helicity is how much rotation can there be in a storm? As the air is convecting, how much spin is in its convection, right? So helicity can be a great determination of thunderstorm behavior. The strong storm that went through Quesnel produced moments of rotation, for example. There was some helicity values there, more than we expected there to be. I mean, I expected anything coming out of the east to be strong, but there you go. My phone's still dinging with the lightning app, so let's just have a look where things are at. Yeah, so somewhere down by, wow, look at that. A lot of lightning by 105, 108 Mile Ranch right now. So it's really going off there. Pretty nice looking storm. It's not in a great radar place, so I'm not going to bother wasting time right now. By the time this video comes out an hour from now, or 9 o'clock at night or whatever, it's going to be maybe mostly gone. So helicity value Sunday. Look, there's some spikes here, some spikes up north. Helicity value. How much rotation is in the storm? Ooh, some spikes in northern BC. Going to be stronger storms up there than maybe we realized. Right? Well, we saw that whole line of storms. Okay, well here's the thing. We're going to look at Monday now, and here we're coming into Monday. And look at these helicity values. Bump up into southern BC, bump up in the West Caribou, up to Prince George. Those are pretty high values. You don't see helicity values too much in BC like this. And then it starts to move into the Caribou. And there we go. Cross-reference that with supercell composite. Where do they think supercellular thunderstorms are going to be on Monday? They think still in southern British Columbia here, the GFS model does. So then we could expand our area maybe of severe potential on Monday to be maybe southern British Columbia. Seems like a good yes for Caribou, Prince George, and the general area of central British Columbia. So supercellular thunderstorms, big things, big heat out there. Everything's crazy, man. Everything's crazy. I'm going to do my best to keep updating you as I can go. But that just kind of sets you up for Sunday and Monday and a little peek at Tuesday being like our last good day of strong thunderstorms, we think, so far. Like I say, though, I think that's subject to change what happens later next week, depending on how the heat moves in and whatnot. You know, I expect to see change. I'm going to guarantee you between now and Tuesday, we're going to have a lot of thunderstorms in BC. They're probably going to be strong where I said they're going to be strong. I think Monday, it could be a lot of severe storms. Could be. Okay, that's all I got to say. Hit like, share, subscribe. Please support the channel. The donations are really making a difference. Thank you so much. Become a channel member if you could. That helps me keep the channel alive, helps me keep forecasting. It's become a full-time job, and I'm doing the best I can for you all, okay, everybody, with the little resources I have, which is pretty much nothing. That's the show for tonight. Bye.